Is Mr. Velveronin here again, and in this video we're going to be talking about combos with Homelander. Now, usually these combo fundamentalist videos are pretty easy to do, because usually it's just, okay, here's the one combo you do with this character, and there's two ways of going into it, and two ways of ending it. With Homelander, I don't think that format is going to work anymore, because here, his combos are more based on what you can physically do with your fingers, because these combos can rapidly go from pretty simple to pretty horrifying. So I think how we're going to go about this is start with really simple combos that you should be able to do and not mess up, even if the connection's bad, to combos that you really want to do that are optimal. And then a little bit about Kameo variety at the end. So I think the starting combo we'll go with is just going for buttons into your diabolical dash into this type of extension. Because you can do this from anything. Your standing 1, your mid, your back 1-4, all of this can go diabolical dash into the uppercut, and 2-1 in the air, into diabolical dash 1 again, standing 4, either into the boot, or the grab, depending if you want to side swap or not. As you can see this, I can get this from my standing 1, I can get this from my forward 4, which is a really good button. And it does a decent amount of damage, nothing crazy, but hey, it's meterless, and it's not too hard to do. The next route is when we start pressing up and stun switch and going into our flight. But we can still keep it simple, so if you just go any few buttons into standing 4, into diabolical dash 1, you can just go into a simple extension like this. And you're going to get around 32% depending on what button you use to go into it, and that's not too complicated. The hardest part is probably pressing up and stun switch, standing 4, back forward 2, 1 really quickly. But the rest is just the same as the other combo extenders we were using. But really, not too complex, decent damage depending on, what buttons go into it and whatnot. But not too complex of a combo route, and this is something you really want to start practicing, because this is a really big strength of Homelander's, is going into these flying buttons, because it gives him pretty good offense as well. Because if the opponent is blocking, you can do the same thing, and that's a pretty good situation. I do have my opponent mashing on down 1s here, but you have this good sequence where you can cancel into these overheads, which will either lead to full combos or lead to pressure, depending on whatever you want to do. And this all jails. The opponent can't armor or do anything mash out of any of this, off of 1-2 specifically. Off of some other strings, like this, there are actually gaps, but that could be good, because if the opponent is mashing, well, you get to go for this full combo route we just learned. And you get nice damage for them trying to mash. And the only thing they can punish this with is a down 1. It's a little complicated because you have to mash your own down 1. But yeah, the only thing they can do is the down 1. I have a separate video on that. So that's the next level of the combos, and it's pretty good, but you do have to keep in mind that this isn't as universal as your diabolical dash uppercut, because off of things like your forward 4, you're way too far away for this to connect. Even things like your back 1-4, unfortunately, this also isn't going to connect. So in these situations, if you want to use the same route, you're just going to have to go into your flight and just go straight into the diabolical dash. Which can be a little hard, but hey, if you can do it, it works well. Pretty good. And if you're able to do that, then you're able to extend a little bit more off of specific things like your standing 1, because then you can go jump 1 into diabolical dash instead of jump 4. And if you do that, basically you just get to do the same thing but loop it 1 extra time. Because you do that into the diabolical dash, do the same thing again, and then go into the combo route we were going for before. And that's just going to add a little bit of extra damage, and even if it's not a lot more damage, it's a bunch more hits, so you're going to build a lot more meter. And now finally, once you're comfortable with those level 2 combos, level 3 is where it gets optimal. In these combos, we're going to do multiple flight cancels to get a decent extra bit of damage. So in these combos, we're basically going to do the first part of the level 2 combos twice. We're going to do buttons into flight, 4, dive punch, forward 4, flight, dive punch, and then 1-2 diabolical dash upper into whatever ender we want. And having this extra loop of buttons into flight, jump 4 is going to add a bunch of extra damage to our combos. Because you can see, even before we've gotten to the upper part of our combo, we've already done a decent amount of damage, 25% before we've used our second launcher, which is this. So this is going to add a lot of damage to your combos, and it is tricky. Not so much about the timing, because you kind of can just dial this in and all kind of mash on all the buttons. But the pressing the buttons is the hardest part. Remembering what buttons to press, switching in between back forward 1 and then back forward 2, 1, up, kick, it can be confusing. You have to practice it, I'll be honest. But once you've got it, as you can see, the damage can get pretty insane, and these are meterless combos that you can do from practically any hit. Like 40% meterless, that is nothing to scoff at. So as long as you can learn the execution of these, there's no reason that you can't do them off of any hit. Because once again, even things like forward 4, which aren't going to connect into your jumping 4, they can be linked in the same way we mentioned. And they're still going to lead to a nice chunk of damage. So those are Homelander's default BnB combos from easy all the way to hard. The only thing that's going to change this is your Kameo. And there's kind of 3 ways that a Kameo is going to extend your combo. You're going to have your ambush extensions, your simple extensions, and your aerial extensions. So ambush extensions like here with Kano. Depending on the Kameo, you'll be able to do things like this, calling out knives into flight to go into the same combos. To add a little bit of extra damage, but also like auto conformability, because if the opponent blocks, then they're also blocking the knives. Kano specifically can also do things like this. Where you can easily get 40% combos just from one Kameo bar. But all of your striking and like physical hitting ambushes can be able to do this. So like your Striker, Cyrax, Helicopter, stuff like that. The next type are your simple combo extenders. So that's going to be your Serenas, your Sub-Zero, Frost, Chameleon as Jade. All characters that just basically have a special move that lets you go for combos. Oh, also Sub-Zero. Actually, I don't know if I said that. But basically, now you can just easily go buttons, like, you know how Serena works. You can go buttons, easily confirm into this, and then go into his high damaging combos. Easy peasy, whichever is the highest damage you can physically do with your fingers. So easy 40%, and of course Serena being Serena, you can do the same thing over and over again. To get a little bit of extra damage. Very, very easy to do. This is probably the best Kameo choice for you if confirming into these like flight style combos is too much for you. Because it does add quite a bit of mental stack doing these weird inputs at the very beginning of the combo. So if your combo can just start with buttons into, you know, a nice slow special move, it gives you time to like adjust and get ready to do the complex combos. While also adding a little bit of extra damage to them. So that is another good pick. And then finally you've got your aerial extenders. So Janet Cage, of which is probably definitely the best in the game, but the other ones are like Jax and Scorpion. And with these characters, of course, you've got simple stuff like comboing off of down 2s, with whatever simple combo you want to do from that. But the most useful part about these is that you can extend from either the end of your combos or extend from things you normally couldn't have. So anytime your combo is ending in this grab, now you can extend with Janet. Even if you're ending your combo in this grab, you can easily extend with Janet, and as long as your timing is good, that can lead to some really high damage stuff. So even with our, you know, simple, slightly less damaging combos, with a simple Janet extension, we can make them do almost as much or more damage as the optimal ones. But what I think the real beauty is of characters like Janet is that now we can combo off of things like our throw. This is a pretty powerful tool, a throw that we can just throw out really quickly in neutral or even after our pokes or anything as like a mix-up tool in between overheads, because if they're trying to block overhead then they're going to get hit by a throw. And characters like Janet and Jax, or maybe not even Jax, maybe just specifically Janet, are going to be able to combo off of this and get full damage anytime you get this. And even though it's not a ton of damage, you're getting some damage and a full combo off of one of your key mix-up tools. It's like getting combos from a throw. It's not tons of damage, but the fact that you're getting damage from something that would have normally done 90 damage is a big deal. So yeah, that is the combos with Homelander. We covered the 3 main levels of combo intensities he can go for, and also the 3 main ways he can extend with different types of cameos. And I think that should be enough to make all sorts of your own combos and help you out no matter what level you're at. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy playing Homelander, bye!